Welcome to another edition of our deep dive into the murky world of the Xbox 360 hidden gem. We've stumbled across some absolute stinkers, but somehow still managed to dig deep enough to uncover 5 more super shiny gems for you to add to your collection. Number 5. Blood Drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the city of Los Ruletas, your host for the Blood Drive tournament. Here in Los Ruletas, we said you to that zombie apocalypse. That's right, shitheads. We've got the badass cars. We've got the howling undead. We've got your favorite drivers mowing down everything in that path. This is the ultimate in carnage-filled sports entertainment.
One of my favourite things about making these hidden gems videos is the part where you guys suggest a game that I've overlooked for years, and that game turning out to be bloody awesome. And I mean bloody. Blood Drive is exactly that. The game is essentially a post-apocalyptic vehicular combat game filled with tons of destruction, blood, zombies, grindhouse style, and most importantly fun. If you've ever played Twisted Metal or Destruction Derby, you know what you're getting here. But what makes this game so special is that Blood Drive truly revels in its absurdity and combines Mad Max-esque vehicles and Dead Rising screen-filling zombie hordes to the already winning formula of those previously mentioned titles. And just like those games, Blood Drive is absolutely bursting with content. In the single player, there are a ton of cups to compete for that have you doing a variety of different tasks and missions, from standard racing to demolition derbies and even King of the Skull. There's also a host of weapons and vehicles that will also keep you coming back for more. It's dumb fun insanity, and that's why I love it. The use of a grindhouse aesthetic and over-the-top apocalyptic game show style is also a really nice touch and adds a lot of comedy to the title, with some of the characters' one-liners being really amusing. Grab a few cold ones and a few friends, and you are in for a treat.
Who will be the ultimate Splatterman champion? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Los Ruletas and welcome to Blood Drive!
Right, here's the part of the video where I ask you to put down your controller and help the channel by liking the video and making sure you're subscribed. Thank you.
Number 4. I Am Alive.
The following message has been issued by the emergency broadcast system. This is a nationwide warning. At 5:31 Pacific Standard Time, the world experienced a succession of disasters. Billions are assumed dead, and all levels of local, state, and national public health and law enforcement have been severely compromised.
The Last of Us is one of those games that made die-hard Xbox 360 owners a little green with envy. Come on, we can all admit it. But little did we know that Ubisoft had already released their version of The Last of Us onto Microsoft stores, and basically no one played it. The game was I Am Alive, an extremely bleak, post-apocalyptic action-adventure survival title that is basically the closest we will ever get to a playable adaptation of The Road or Book of Eli. Yeah, if you've seen or read The Road and was engrossed and horrified by the extremely bleak world and tones, then this game is probably for you. While some of the gameplay mechanics may be a little bit outdated, it's the game's atmosphere, visuals, characters, and world that make this game worth mentioning. The game revolves around your character, who while out looking for his own family, stumbles across a lost little girl looking for her mother. You decide to help the little girl, but in doing so, you will have to face off against all the obstacles that come with a world on the brink of extinction. You know, the standard stuff. No food or resources, derelict buildings that are close to crumbling that must be traversed, and obviously murderous gangs, thugs and cannibals. It's nothing exceptionally new, but it's still highly engrossing, and you will soon find yourself forming a bond and generally caring about the characters you interact with. Gameplay is your standard stuff of some light resource management, combat, stealth, and climbing, but the game also throws in a few innovative mechanics that help to add to the world building. For example, the AI enemies, they react to how you react. You can pull a gun on them and not shoot, and they may choose to back up or just flee. This is a handy trick if you have no ammunition, but I will warn you, some thugs may not care about their well-being as much as others. You can also pretend to give up, so they get close enough for you just to take them down hand to hand, or you can even back them up to a ledge, then boot them off to save ammunition. It all helps to add an extra layer of grit and realism to the game. Sure, it's not the most polished, but if you can see past its faults, there's an incredibly atmospheric gem to be enjoyed here.
took me a year to get back to the city. Maybe, just maybe, my family will still be there.
Number 3, Remember Me.
A friend once said, the memory of a single man is a fortress, more complex than the vastest of cities. But we invented a key to the fortress. The son's first words, a mother's last words, a lover's kiss, a father's deception. There are no secrets anymore. And if remixing a single memory can change a man's life, then changing a single man could remix the world.
Does anyone actually remember me? Because I certainly forgot about it until someone suggested I go give it a go. And honestly, I was pleasantly surprised, as for the most part the game feels really different. But before we get to that, let's quickly touch on the plot. The year is 2084, the location is Neo Paris, and now people have the ability not to only share their memories, but also erase any bad ones so they can lead a happier life. Obviously though, not everyone is too chuffed with a mega corporation essentially having control of their old noggin, so rebel and fight against the corporation. And as with any unproven thing, a very few hungry have gotten addicted to the absorbing memories and turned into memory-munching subhuman monsters. And that's basically the world you're in. You play as one of the memory hunters working for the rebels. Unfortunately though, your memories along with your abilities have been wiped, so you must not only fight and take down the evil mega corporation, you must also regain your memories back. It's a silly and wild sci-fi premise, but one of the game's biggest strengths. Another strength is the game's visuals. Unlike most hidden gems, you can tell Remember Me had a fairly good budget. The world, its lights, and general aesthetic are absolutely beautiful and rich in detail. The whole world just pops out of the screen and looks so strikingly different to anything else released on the platform. And lastly is the gameplay. There is a ton of storytelling and world building to devour, but when you're not soaking that in, you will be punching and kicking anything unlucky enough to get in your way. The combat system, however, is extremely unique, and the best way I can explain it is it's kind of a rhythm-based version of Arkham's combat, where you string combos together in the most fluid of ways, with timing being the key. This is just an experience like nothing you've played before, as you initiate your own combo style in the form of a mechanic called the Combo Lab. You just do it on the fly, it's so intuitive and just feels great. Anyway, when you're not performing a dance of acrobatic combat mayhem, you will be performing memory remixes on people, a kind of minigame where you move objects to alter how a certain character remembers an event or situation. The game also throws in some puzzle solving, extremely solid platforming, and even memory stealing to help you progress. And even memory stealing that you need to use to help you progress. If you're looking to lose yourself in a futuristic world bursting with creativity and thrilling gameplay, then remember that I told you to grab Remember Me.
Who erased my memory? What was my real mission?
Try to get around her!
I'm the hunter. Why am I being hunted?
Number 2, Call of Juarez Gunslinger.
In the Old West, there was one thing that a man learned damn quick. You point a gun at Silas Greaves, and someone will die.
No list would be complete without a first-person shooter, so I'm going to throw Call of Juarez Gunslinger into the hat. I really liked the first Call of Juarez, but it definitely hasn't aged all that well. The second game, Bound in Blood, is also extremely solid, but I'm saving that game for a special cooperative Hidden Gems vid that me and my co-host are preparing. And the less said about the third title in the series, the better. But the Xbox Live arcade title Gunslinger has to be my favourite, and probably the one Call of Juarez game many people overlooked or didn't even know released. And that's a damn shame, as Gunslinger is a rootin' tootin' hectically good time, with extremely solid gunplay and high score chasing antics that embraces the sillier, less somber, and more enjoyable aspects of the Wild West. The game's story is silly fun, as you see yourself playing as a bounty hunter who retells and wildly imagines his stories to a bar full of people. As he's telling them, you play through these scenarios as he retells them, but whenever an inconsistency in his story is brought up by someone in the bar, he quickly changes some of his aspects and fabrications.
Whoa there, partner. Those are some wild stories. Any of them true?
You calling me a liar?
This story change bleeds into the gameplay as weapons, scenarios, and enemies just change on the fly as the bounty hunter tries to get his story straight. It's a fun little mechanic that did not need to be added, but I'm glad it was, as it constantly keeps you guessing what's going to happen next. The game's fantastical western nature also sees you coming face to face with some of the biggest names in the Wild West, like Billy the Kid and Butch Cassidy, you know, all the main ones. If you love a western themed game, but don't fancy jumping into a lengthy, overtly serious game where horses' testicles change in real time and just want to gunsling and blow some stuff up, then check this one out.
When you journey into this world, you'll find a story that will challenge you, scenery that will awe you, and characters that will shoot you as soon as spit on you. And if you can survive long enough in this world, you may even find answers to some important questions, such as just who was Silas Greaves, and just what gun is best for shooting guys in the face. If I shoot one in the face and another in the stomach, do I get less points? These and other questions can only truly be answered by playing this game. But don't just...
Number 1 is Dark Void. If you're a little like me, you probably picked up Sega's Iron Man and was like, wow, the flying is really cool. And then reality striked, as you realised just about every other part of the game was woefully awful. Well, I present to you Dark Void, a game that's jetpack flying, is a blast, and the rest of the game doesn't make you want to give yourself a lobotomy. This super cheesy, B-movie-esque sci-fi action-adventure title is basically that movie The Rocketeer, but it's playable, and it's awesome because of it. The controls, however, do get a bit of getting used to, but once you have, and you're blasting through the air and shooting lasers everywhere, you will wonder why you didn't give this a go sooner, as it's genuinely thrilling and immersive stuff. I also have to praise the art direction, creative robotic enemy design, cheesy dialogue, and alternate take on history. It's goofy in the best way possible. This goofiness also bleeds into the story that involves Tesla, Nazi forces, the Bermuda Triangle, big robots, and a massive island that's stuck in time and has some stunning sights to behold. It's turn your brain off goofy campiness in the best way possible. But truly, it's the jetpack and how it's used in traversal and combat that is the star of the show here. The soaring and blazing thrill of zipping through the sky is so much damn fun, and just go to make Dark Void well worth a weekend binge. Right, that's it for me today. My co-host will be giving you his top hidden gem picks for the Xbox 360 very soon. So in the meantime, I'll be digging up some gems for other consoles. Let me know what you thought down below, let me know your favourite hidden gem, and until next time, you guys stay tipsy.